What's up, everybody? Amish Country Mets fan here with Amish's Mets in the Barnyard. Full disclosure, not in the barnyard, obviously. I'm in my vehicle. Had a little bit of time on the fly here to do this video, so I want to get it done. I want to explain something real quick because I feel like people take, not just me, but positive Mets fans in general and lump them all together and have this idea that this is all rose-colored glasses and everything's all sunshine and rainbows, and I truly don't believe that. The thing I'm trying to explain is I still have a positive outlook on the situation, and I still think that although things may not look great right now, they can get better, and I don't feel it's time to write off the 2024 season. Now, granted, that said, did I have a different outlook before Yamamoto signed with the Dodgers? Yes, because call me an idiot if you want, I truly believe the Mets had a very good shot at signing Yamamoto. Didn't happen, so now we pivot. Things don't look as bright, in my opinion. I think if we signed Yamamoto, I didn't expect us to go crazy and sign a bunch of guys, but I expected us to be a little more aggressive. I think now that our plan A has gone by the wayside, plan B is going to be more conservative, and I have to adjust my expectations based on that. I still think this team will improve. As constructed, without any improvements, I could see this team being a sub 500 team. But if things broke right, I could see them being slightly over 500. I'm not crazy. I don't think this is a 90-win club. With a few additions, maybe they could push it. But I don't necessarily see it happening. That said, I will have a positive outlook until it's proven otherwise. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, we're not signing anybody else and 2024 is doomed. That's just not the way I choose to look at things. If you do, that's fine. It's just me, for my mental, for the way things, the way my fandom works. I tend to block that stuff out because to me that's a little too doom and gloom, but whatever. I just wanted to take a moment to compare where we sat off-season last year, say before spring training, before we knew Diaz was out and this, that, and the other. Verlander obviously going down right before opening day. So I want to compare where we're at, just rotation-wise. I'll do this for the offense maybe tomorrow. But rotation-wise, let's look at who we had as options. We had Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Kodai Senga, Tyler McGill, Jose Quintana, David Peterson, Joey Lucchesi, and Jose Butto. Compare that to right now, as of this moment. We got Kodai Senga, Jose Quintana, Adrian Hauser, Luis Severino, Tyler McGill, Joey Lucchesi, Jose Butto, David Peterson, but David Peterson's going to be on the IL for a while. So let's just compare that. On paper, obviously, last season's rotation, you would say, far better. But let's break it down a little further. Let's see what happened before we even got to the season. We lost Quintana. Verlander obviously got hurt right before opening day. So then we ended up with Scherzer, Senga, McGill, Peterson. I don't remember who we went with our fifth. Cookie Carrasco. I forgot about Cookie Carrasco. So that was our five. Cookie Carrasco was arguably our worst pitcher last year. So you just look at and then we go into the season, we see that Max wasn't himself. McGill stunk. Peterson stunk. Lucchesi was the only guy that pitched somewhat decent out of this list other than Senga and Quintana didn't show up till mid-season. Senga even had his struggles at the beginning of the year, and Lucchesi only made like 5 or 6 starts. So I know people kind of want to give and I hear a lot of Mets fans want to give him a shot. I'm not a Lucchesi hater. I'm fine with trying him out and maybe I'd rather give him a long man role than a starting rotation spot. I really truly don't believe in that few starts last year meaning anything. Pitchers have a good few starts. It happens. Bad pitchers pitch well sometimes. I really don't think Lucchesi is that great. That said, like I said, I don't mind giving him a shot in spring training, see what happens. So the point of this, anyways, is to compare that to where we are now. So now we have Senga, who, I mean, you could say outperformed expectations last year. I truly believe he can only get better. I know most Mets fans didn't want him to be our number one starter, and I didn't either, let's be honest. But I think he's capable. I think he can step up enough to be the number one guy. Then we got, obviously, Quintana's back. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's a pretty serviceable starter. Hauser, again, serviceable back-end guy. Severino, listen, that's a prayer. We're hoping Severino finds his old stuff. If he does, then yeah, this team could overachieve. If he's last year's Severino, then we're kind of sunk. Not the team isn't sunk, but that rotation spot's kind of sunk because that last year's Severino's not good enough. McGill, can he improve? I'm not banking on it, but maybe. Again, Lucchesi talked about Budo. I don't love Budo. Don't think he has enough pitches, if I'm being totally honest. I wonder if you could maybe slot him in the bullpen role. I don't know, possibility. And then, like I said, Peterson, not healthy. So you look at that rotation, stack it up to last year. Name-wise, no. Name recognition-wise, it's definitely worse. But if you look at it based on actual results, there's no reason this rotation couldn't actually do better than last year because of the fact that Verlander wasn't great for us and was hurt for a while. Scherzer wasn't good for us. McGill was horrible. Quintana didn't show up to midseason. Senga was very good, but like I said, I believe he can improve. Hauser's new, Severino's new. So, I don't know. I just think if you look at it objectively, I think the rotation could pan out. We need to add a guy, at least. The problem is, I don't know that, and I think most Mets fans agree at this point, we're not probably going after a bigger name. I don't have a problem with that because I don't believe in Blake Snell, and I think Montgomery is going to make too much money, and he's not really an ace either. So I think overpaying Montgomery would be a mistake. I have convinced myself that this sign guys on shorter term deals and evaluate what you have in the minors and maybe try to sneak in the playoffs next year is not a bad strategy. I think where there's a disconnect between me and other Mets fans is most Mets fans that I'm listening to just don't think it's realistic that we have a shot in hell at making the playoffs. To that, I say maybe current roster-wise, not. But I truly don't believe this isn't... I don't think this is the roster. I think there's going to be improvements. But I can only judge it based on what we have right now. So if I'm basing it off of what we have right now, I'd say no, we're not a playoff team. But I think we can get there. So, like I said, I'll break down the offense more tomorrow. I think that's where we have more room for even more improvement, even with minimal um, additions, just because of the black hole that was Vogelback and Marte. Um, and let's face it, Escobar, and we can go on and on. But let's look at the bullpen real quick, because the bullpen, this is where we really got hurt last year. We went in thinking we had Edwin Diaz, Drew Smith, Adam Ottavino, David Robertson, Brooks Raley, Montes de Oca, Jeff Brigham, John Curtis, and that Hernandez dude that we picked up from the Marlins. Hernandez got hurt quick. We lost Diaz in the WBC. De Oca got hurt, and we ended up with a horrible bullpen. We had to slide Robertson in at closer. Ottavino had to take on a bigger role. Raley as well. Like, all these guys had to kind of step up. Smith had to take on a way bigger role. It didn't work. So this year, I know fans don't love what we've been doing with the bullpen. None of them are big name guys. Where it's all reclamation projects. But the ace in the hole, we got hopefully a healthy Diaz back. Brooks Raley's back. I think he can be solid. Then we got the guys we added. Tonkin, Jorge Lopez, that Adams dude. Phil Bickford, who we added late in the season last year, I guess is still an option. Johan Ramirez, Kyle Crick, and Andre Scrub, as well as Drew Smith. That bullpen doesn't look great on paper. But just based on Diaz being back and my belief that we will get an eighth inning guy, I don't know. I'm thinking that might be a trade. I could be wrong. And we're not going after like a legitimate eighth inning guy. I believe it. Don't ask me why. I could be an idiot. So I think if we get a true eighth inning guy, and I think enough of those guys have the stuff that if harnessed, we can have a better bullpen than last year. So pitching wise, I think in my mind, we can improve just by default, because let's face it, last year our pitching was bad. And yeah, a lot of these guys that we have right now don't look great, but if they even overachieve a little bit, they can do better than what last year was for us. So I don't love where our rotation or our bullpen looks right now. I believe additions will come that will make that better. Who those additions are, who knows? Apparently, Giolito, we're very interested in. I'm on record, I don't love the guy. But he does. He brings innings. Maybe in the National League, in more of a pitcher's park, he can perform better. He did have a very great start to last year. And that fell off like right before the trade deadline. And then he got traded and all hell broke loose. So we'll see if he's one of the guys. If he's the guy, I don't love it, but like I said, I don't. I have to see what we get. If I can't make an assumption and judgments based on just what the roster looks like right now. That's all I can judge right now, but I can't make a determination that 2024 is a wash without seeing the rest of the plan. And I do think trades are coming. I do think either a DH or an outfielder is coming to improve the offense. So, I mean, this is, again, just what I think. So I'll break down more because, like I said, I think the offense is crazy enough, has more room to improve based on what we got just by pure, I mean, it's almost addition by subtraction. Daniel Vogelback's gone. Eduardo Escobar is gone. As much as I love him, he was horrible. So we started the year last year at catcher with freaking Nito and Narvaez got hurt pretty early, but we were rolling before we really gave Alvarez a job. We rolled with subpar catchers for a while. So this year with Alvarez taking that role from the jump with hopefully a real DH. Again, I wanted to break this down, and I'll break this down more in another video, but I just think we have ways to improve there. So, I don't know. That's just me. I choose to look at it more of a positive light. But again, I'm being real. As constructed, if I had to guess, we're not a playoff team right now. I think we can get close, and I think we can get in the hunt with some additions, and I think it can. Listen, the one thing that I know, people look at the rotation and they're not enamored with it, and I'm not either. But bad rotations make the playoffs. Rosters that are worse on paper than this that the Mets have made the playoffs. Hell, look at what shout out to Josh in the group chat. He brought up a great point. If you look at what our 2015 roster looked like going into 2015, the year we made a World Series, for goodness sake, it was horrible. It was definitely worse than this. Maybe the pitching was better because we had the young guns, but it was a bad team. So things happen. We have to see how the team gels together. It's not always about the big names and the flashy names and the guys with the crazy stats going into the year. Like, things change. Guys have career years. Guys have horrible years. Things happen. We'll see what happens. I just think it is not time to be negative. But that's just my opinion. So, thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. On X, shoot me a follow. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, I appreciate you. Please rate the show and what have you. Leave a comment as well. Thank you all, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the latest video.